The first signs were so subtle that most people almost missed them. When Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo began appearing at the same industry gatherings, it seemed like nothing more than coincidence. Both were among the most respected figures in the entertainment world, and their schedules naturally overlapped. Yet as months passed, a series of small but meaningful gestures started to form a pattern. Fans began to notice that Lee Min-ho's actions toward Song Hye Kyo carried a level of attentiveness that felt different. These were not grand romantic declarations. Instead, they were quiet, thoughtful moments that slowly built a narrative suggesting he might be serious about her. One of the earliest scenes unfolded during a private fashion showcase. The venue was dimly lit, with soft music playing as guests mingled. Song Hye Kyo sat among industry insiders, listening attentively to a presentation. When Lee Min-ho entered the room, cameras briefly followed him. He greeted a few acquaintances, then paused subtly, scanning the crowd. His eyes settled momentarily in her direction. The glance lasted only seconds, yet observers noticed how his expression softened slightly. It was not dramatic, but it felt intentional. Later that evening, the seating arrangement shifted. Lee Min-ho found himself standing near Song Hye Kyo as guests prepared for a group photo. Instead of focusing on the photographers, he appeared mindful of the space around her, stepping back slightly to ensure she had room. The gesture was simple courtesy, yet fans later described it as considerate. It was the first of many moments that suggested he paid attention to her comfort. Another memorable instance occurred during a charity gala. The atmosphere was warm, with attendees discussing philanthropic projects. Song Hye Kyo engaged in conversation with organizers when Lee Min-ho approached. He greeted everyone politely, but when he addressed her, his tone appeared especially gentle. Their exchange was brief, yet her soft smile afterward drew attention. The interaction looked natural, as though such exchanges were becoming familiar. Weeks later, an awards ceremony provided one of the most talked-about scenes. Song Hye Kyo's name was announced for recognition, and the audience applauded. Among them, Lee Min-ho's reaction stood out. He leaned forward slightly, clapping with a sincere expression. Cameras captured the moment, highlighting what seemed like genuine admiration. Fans quickly shared the clip, interpreting it as a sign of support that went beyond casual respect. Another subtle gesture unfolded backstage at a promotional event. The corridor was crowded with staff and celebrities preparing for interviews. Song Hye Kyo stood reviewing notes. As Lee Min-ho passed, he slowed briefly, appearing to say something quietly. She responded with a small nod and a faint smile. The exchange lasted seconds, yet it sparked discussion. The calm familiarity between them suggested a growing connection. Travel schedules also fueled curiosity. On multiple occasions, both were reported to be in the same cities within close time frames. Though no direct meetings were confirmed, fans noted the overlaps. During one such period, Lee Min-ho posted a scenic evening photograph. Shortly afterward, Song Hye Kyo shared a similar image. The resemblance intrigued followers, adding another layer to the narrative. Perhaps one of the most meaningful gestures occurred during a cultural festival. Lee Min-ho delivered a speech about artists who inspire him. He mentioned elegance, resilience, and quiet strength. Though he did not name anyone, viewers connected the description to Song Hye Kyo. The indirect praise felt heartfelt, suggesting admiration expressed in a subtle way. Another scene that caught attention happened during an industry dinner. The environment was relaxed, with limited media presence. As seating arrangements changed, Lee Min-ho reportedly offered space for Song Hye Kyo to sit comfortably. Witnesses described the act as polite and thoughtful. It was not dramatic, yet such gestures contributed to the impression of attentiveness. Later in the year, Song Hye Kyo spoke at a press conference about appreciating quiet support. Her comment sounded general, yet fans connected it to Lee Min-ho's consistent gestures. The perceived mutual respect strengthened speculation. A particularly memorable moment unfolded at a year-end ceremony. During a group photo, both stood near each other among several celebrities. Lee Min-ho subtly adjusted his position, ensuring she remained clearly visible in the frame. The movement was small, yet fans interpreted it as protective. The image circulated widely, with many highlighting his awareness. Social media amplified these scenes. Clips of the gestures spread quickly, accompanied by captions suggesting deeper meaning. Some viewers saw them as simple kindness. Others believed they hinted at something more serious. The ambiguity kept discussions alive. Another emotional moment came during an interview. Lee Min-ho was asked about qualities he admired in people. He mentioned grace, professionalism, and emotional strength. Fans immediately associated the description with Song Hye Kyo. His calm delivery added sincerity, reinforcing the narrative. Toward the end of the year, another subtle exchange occurred at a public event. Song Hye Kyo arrived slightly later than scheduled. As she entered, Lee Min-ho acknowledged her with a gentle nod. The interaction was brief, yet it conveyed familiarity. Observers described it as a quiet but meaningful gesture. What made these moments compelling was their consistency. None were dramatic. None confirmed anything directly. Yet together, they formed a story built on attentiveness. The glances, smiles, and supportive reactions suggested a level of care that fans interpreted as serious. As speculation continued, both maintained professionalism. They never addressed the rumors directly, focusing instead on their careers. Yet their calm demeanor during shared appearances hinted at comfort. Observers noted that Lee Min-ho often seemed relaxed when they attended the same events. Song Hye Kyo also appeared composed, reinforcing the perception of mutual respect. In the end, the fascination lay in the subtlety of the gestures. They were not grand romantic displays. Instead, they were quiet acts unfolding naturally. The narrative built from these moments suggested that Lee Min-ho's actions carried intention. Whether these gestures truly proved he was serious about Song Hye Kyo remained uncertain. Yet the pattern of attentiveness left a lasting impression, keeping fans watching closely and wondering if these small signs revealed a deeper story. As the narrative continued to unfold, more quiet moments added depth to the perception that Lee Min-ho is showing consistent attentiveness towards Song Hye Kyo. One such scene emerged during a spring film premiere. The red carpet shimmered under bright lights, and celebrities posed for photographers one after another. Song Hye Kyo walked gracefully, greeting fans with a calm smile. When Lee Min-ho arrived later, he acknowledged the crowd before moving into position for photographs. During the group shot, he subtly adjusted his stance, ensuring there was enough space between everyone. The gesture seemed ordinary, yet fans later highlighted how he appeared mindful of her comfort. Another moment that drew attention happened during a panel discussion on storytelling in cinema. Both attended as guests seated among industry figures. Song Hye Kyo listened attentively as speakers shared their experiences. At one point, she laughed softly at a humorous comment. Lee Min-ho smiled at the same time, and though they did not exchange words, their synchronized reactions became a talking point. Viewers interpreted the moment as evidence of shared understanding, suggesting a natural connection. Weeks later, a charity outreach program provided another subtle scene. Volunteers gathered to support a community initiative, and both stars participated separately. Lee Min-ho was seen interacting warmly with attendees, while Song Hye Kyo spoke with organizers. As the event concluded, they crossed paths briefly. He offered a polite nod and a gentle smile. She responded in kind before continuing. The interaction lasted seconds, yet observers described the exchange as sincere and comfortable. The intrigue deepened during a media interview. Lee Min-ho was asked about what inspires him outside acting. He spoke about people who demonstrate quiet strength and consistency. His answer sounded reflective, and fans quickly connected the description to Song Hye Kyo. The repetition of such sentiments reinforced the perception that his admiration might extend beyond professional respect. Another scene unfolded during a cultural exhibition. The environment was calm, with visitors exploring artwork. Song Hye Kyo paused at a painting, studying it carefully. Lee Min-ho entered the same section shortly afterward. Though they did not stand together, he appeared to linger nearby, appreciating the display. The proximity, though coincidental, fueled speculation. Fans described it as another example of shared interests. Later in the year, an awards show delivered a quiet yet memorable moment. As presenters announced nominees, Song Hye Kyo's name appeared on screen. Lee Min-ho clapped with a genuine expression. Cameras captured his reaction, and viewers interpreted it as heartfelt support. The sincerity in his demeanor strengthened the narrative that his gestures carried meaning. Social media discussions intensified. Clips highlighting these interactions circulated widely, with captions suggesting romantic undertones. Some fans argued that the gestures reflected simple politeness. Others believed the consistency indicated something more serious. The lack of confirmation kept curiosity alive. As months passed, the pattern remained unchanged. Lee Min-ho's actions continued to reflect attentiveness, while Song Hye Kyo responded with calm composure. Neither addressed the speculation publicly, maintaining professionalism. Yet the subtle familiarity between them became increasingly noticeable to observers. In the end, these additional scenes reinforced the impression created by earlier moments. The gestures remained understated but consistent. They suggested care expressed through small actions rather than grand statements. Whether these signs truly proved Lee Min-ho was serious about Song Hye Kyo remained uncertain. Still, the quiet accumulation of meaningful interactions left fans convinced that something deeper might be unfolding behind the scenes.